But you didn't. You fought. You came back to me.
Because I need you. Lee. Just chill out.
It's okay. It's okay to be scared.
The only thing scarier than doing this is doing it without you. Can I ask you something?
Hello, and you are listening to the Gotham Chronicle podcast, powered by the BatmanUniverse.net. Check out the Batman Universe for this and many other Batman podcasts, plus news and other things. I'm Josh, and joining me is...
The first witness. This is Donovan.
Witness, this is Jan.
And before we get this trial any further, I do have a question for you guys. What would you say if I told you that I had the greatest smelling perfume in the world?
I'd say that's
Get away from me. Those things could be snakes.
It's kind of a random point of interest.
He's like, what was it he said? He's like, I'd say that's a very big change of subject, but can we go back to the part where you said, people? Just squirts.
I love this so much.
So basically, everyone, the whole episode is just Chris Chalk and Davi Mazouz in that scene. Like, nothing else happens. That's it. It's like that. That's the whole episode. People. So this is
this episode, though.
Yeah, this is the trial of Jim Gordon. Written by Ben Jim Gordon McKenzie, directed by Aaron Barbara Keene Richards, and fun note: this is the last episode of the series filmed. They filmed this after they did like the series finale. Like this was like they had just like this episode was the last one that like they worked on because they had to like do the last ones out of order. The last shot of the series is the wedding at the end. And like Robin Lord Taylor's like last line that he ever said as Oswald Cobblepot was like in that first scene where he's like, Jim, it's your show, my casa, su casa. So very interesting when you watch it with that in mind. And like it's almost like a second series finale after like the first series finale, because like you do get the sense that like this is them looking back on the show with stuff like, you know, Zsasz, the mutant leader, Ivy. They reference other stuff like Galavan, and you know they bring back like old props like Pig's mask and the Court of Owl's mask. So Jim is shot, and he goes on a little fantasy where he remembers every bad thing that he's ever done, every single thing,
except for season 3.
Of them.
Yes, everything. There's nothing that wasn't mentioned.
Nothing at all. Nothing big.
Nothing and no one.
Like, especially when Lee says all the bad things that you did to me. A broken engagement, a lost child, a broken, like, what was it? Like a broken heart? Like, she says like 3 things, and none of them are like, you know, I don't know, wrecking her honeymoon. Because I think Dom brought up to me, this is like Jim's mind. So in Jim's mind, he did nothing wrong there.
Murdering my husband in cold blood.
I don't remember doing that.
Well, it's funny because like we had that running joke on the podcast where Jim keeps on forgetting that like he killed Mario, so it's almost like it's almost like they did that here.
Art imitates life.
Yeah. So he has, you know, he fights for his life while Lee fights for his life as well. And like, there's a scene of like Alfred and Lee talking about how awesome Jim is, written by Ben McKenzie.
Aaron Richards.
Aaron Richardson, but yes, he did direct it. Like, yeah. So he wakes up.
He did a good job, though.
I forget, like, that they worked on this episode. So, like, when I watch it, like, which is credit to them because, like, I don't feel like the dialogue is ever, and I guess I'm jumping ahead, but, like, I never felt like the dialogue was unnatural for these characters. So, like, credit to Ben McKenzie that, like, he did do a good job, like, getting the characters' voices, which he should. He's been living in the show for, like, 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, I had to remind myself when, like, Bruce is angsting to Selena, I'm like, oh, yeah, this was written by Ben McKenzie. He's putting these words in David's mouth. So, Jim is A-okay. Zsasz is being shipped with, Ivy instead of Alvarez, which makes me sad. There's a wedding at the end, and it's not between Zsasz and Alvarez, which makes me sad. But it makes Barbara sad because, like, she and Penguin are having like
Penguin's rubbing her face like, so Jim and Lee together at last, and it's all your fault. It's like, why do you care, Penguin?
He's like, he's not exactly barefoot, but he might as well be like in his pajamas, like barefoot, like on her bed, like as if they're having a sleepover in that scene. He's like so relaxed. I was like, I swear to God, like 2 episodes ago it was, I will find that little bird and I will kill him. Now they're the best of friends.
Hold on. You totally had a missed opportunity. He could have been laying across her bed like Catwoman in Batman Returns.
A plan's forming. Scree, scree, scree.
No, to stop Jim Gordon, we must make him what he hates the most, namely us. And like, instead of like a bat shadow puppet, it's like a police bat shadow puppet.
It's a very complicated shadow puppet.
Somehow makes it with his hands.
Squeak, squeak. Of course, it turns out that Jim Gordon's already dead because, like, he realized once he was on the honeymoon with Lee, he's like, wait a second, but on your last honeymoon, I killed your husband Mario, but now that I married you, that makes me Mario. No, and he like slowly like pulls the gun to himself. Must resist. Must kill Mario.
Must stop being an idiot.
That's one way to stop.
He just like drives back to the GCBD. Like Gordon's like blood matter still on like her dress, and she's like, I don't want to talk about it. Let's just get to work.
Every episode is just
Ivy's back. She has. I mean, there is no structure to this recap at all. But just know, listeners, like you probably watch the show. If you don't, then may God have mercy on my soul for telling you lies. You know, Ivy's trying to take over Gotham again. Half the recap, like, man, I need to go back and listen to season 1 and hear how seriously I tried to make this like show, like with the discussion points and everything. Now it's like
everything you've said so far is true.
Including Gordon killing himself on his own honeymoon. That happened.
No, so I want to live. I want to live. Oh my God, no.
Zinc. Says, that'd be funny. Fair.
Him killing himself on the honeymoon wouldn't actually be that far-fetched.
It wouldn't?
It wouldn't, not in this show.
I'm Mario now. No, he's like driving Lee, and he's like, you like it, Lee? I found this nice spot. You seriously took me here, Jim? Yeah, it's a nice spot. I saw it a few years ago while I was on a case and shot some random son of a bitch. Oh my God, his wife was right there, and oh yeah, that was you.
Yeah, but you can't blame a guy for having a bad memory.
I'll stop interrupting you.
So yeah, there's 3 plot lines. Jim's drug trippy fantasy, which crosses into like Ivy, you know, trying to brainwash Bruce to brainwash Lucius to like I guess do something with Gotham's water, like, but Selena, like, apparently Ivy's brainwashing. You just need to like kick someone in the head. That's it.
Isn't that what they did last time?
I feel like it took more effort. Like you had to like knock them out or something. Like she just kind of beats Bruce up, and she really like gives Lucius one blow, and he's like, he's okay, but he's Lucius. He has to be okay. He has like superior genetics. Because like, he's the only one that knows he's inside this. He's inside a show, and he questions the script. I'm sorry. Did you just say people? Can we go back to when you said that?
I would say that was a very rough change of subject. Can we go back to when you said people?
Did you remember me warning you about that?
What?
Okay. I said, Lucius is going to say something really funny, and you said, no, now I'm going to be expecting it, and then I'm not going to appreciate the moment when it happens. That was this moment.
No, that's what you were talking about. Also, I completely forgot about it.
Yay! Okay, so
having an episode this week, so I wasn't even thinking about it.
Yeah. So I guess the other plot line is Penguin and Barbara Keene's, like sleepover friendship as they're like basically
that's barely a
subplot.
Yeah.
It's they can't leave the city yet because this is an extra episode being written in between like the submarine subplot and the other stuff. So like they just have to talk about like, is the submarine built yet? No, it's not built yet because this is an extra talking about the submarine. And then I guess like Jim Gordon married Lee. Now, we must leave the city just as we were planning on doing at the end of episode 7. I guess let's talk about the episode. Gordon's, or I guess we'll do our overall thoughts, which I kind of gave a little bit of mine in my pre-recap. So you guys have at it.
I'll start off. I actually thought this is a really badly written episode. Now, before the sharks come, I didn't hate this episode. I didn't think this is like an unpleasant episode to watch. I thought it was generally entertaining. There were just a couple of things that were kind of just driving me nuts, and I'm going to open the floor to Jan to contest it. But just some details that happen, and I know this Gotham, and it exists in like an unreality. But I mean, even for this show, because Gordon's been shot twice, or he's been shot before in this show. He was shot in season 1. He was shot in season last season, several times. It was fairly realistic. Like he needed help. In this one, he's shot in the side, and like they just refuse to take his shirt off or even like loosen his tie. I found it's like they don't loosen his tie to open up his airway. Like seriously, and then it was like Bullock showing up like, Penguin, I know you know who shot Gordon. Tell me who it is. Harvey, like the Bullock came from outside the building. Like it clearly wasn't me. And he's like, oh yeah, like dude, you've been a detective for like 30 years. Like just crazy stuff that like I was surprised. I guess now I understand this is written at the last minute. This is kind of like a mercenary script. So that's why I'm not counting it so much. But I was kind of like, this is kind of amateur hour for just like the plotting. That being said, I had a really good belly laugh when Lee dropped the fake baby in Gordon's dream, and he was like, no, I want to live. And he zoomed into like Will, and he's like, it's all your fault. And then he electrocutes him, and Ben McKenzie just screeches, ah! Like I laughed, and I found the kind of like the last minute wedding, and the illegality of it to be kind of this like kind of funny and sort of a cheesy television way. Like everything, all's well that ends well, and then like Barbara's like, he'll have to deal with me. Like it's, oh Gotham, you so crazy. So this is a wacky episode. This was the definition of filler, but like it sure was Gotham.
Well, in fairness to it being filler, like there was a status quo change like in it, which I'm surprised they were able to do. It's your show, Jan. Mi casa, su casa.
Get out. I really liked it. I just thought it was like kind of fun. Like the way that the dream was directed. I mean, I actually liked a lot of stuff about this episode, which is weird. And I will agree that they didn't even open up a shirt. But do they ever open up a shirt when he gets shot? They've ever actually opened up a shirt whenever he's gotten shot. I don't remember any of that.
I think in season 1, he at least had his like muscle shirt, like his tank top or something.
Oh, I mean, when he got shot, did he get shot when he went to the baby place?
Yes, by Sophia like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, the shirt stayed on. They didn't take it off for that either.
I feel that like he like at least they took a tie. Like again, like they didn't even unbutton his like it. I don't get it.
I don't remember that.
You know how some people have like a DNR, like a do not resuscitate? He has a like do not disrobe, like no, I must look stylish, even if it costs me my life.
I mean, Gordon,
Armani's.
Ben McKenzie's in decent shape. I don't know if he's like, has this like fear of looking shirtless or whatever, but like, please tell. I mean, am I not crazy?
Has Gordon ever had a shirtless scene on the show? Now that I think about it,
has anyone ever had a shirtless scene on this show?
I feel Penguin
accessing
has,
Brittany memories,
but I can't remember.
Was the mutant leader shirtless? But like, okay, of the main cast.
I mean, like that aren't like crazy killer people,
right? I'm thinking of the main cast.
Oh yes,
I
Mr.
feel like
Freeze. Mr. Freeze has been shirtless.
Oh yeah,
Just
he's
to show
got a nice body.
Yeah, just to show.
I feel like when people have been tortured on the show, like they've been like shirtless and stuff too. Like I'm trying to remember specifically.
Penguin's always had his clothes on. Riddler's always had his clothes on. I feel like all the cops have always had their clothes on.
The last episode, Bullock gets like a cheesecake like shower scene.
Oh, the soap feels so good.
Pass the shampoo, Bullock. Gordon, what are you doing here? We must conserve water.
What is her name? Barbara has had their clothes on. I can't think of anyone.
Why do you forget Barbara's name?
Well, yeah, I think Barbara and Montoya were implied to be naked.
Erin.
Okay.
But like you don't. I mean, you don't see anything. But like, yeah, it's just like the whole like come on, Jim, don't leave me. When he's like fully dressed, but like has a gunshot wound. It was just like, not only I'm not saying I didn't buy that he was in trouble. I'm saying like they didn't care to really put it convincingly.
I don't feel like I feel like for the type of show that it is, they really didn't feel the need to like remove anything. Just keep him in costume.
But that's so strange.
Look, it's not Batman. It's not Batman the animated series. They don't go into like crazy details about things.
Or any other show or movie.
But I did like how that was shot. I did like how ridiculous. I loved Ben McKenzie's lawyer accent because he had a completely different voice than me. I was really impressed. I was like, he walked over and he had that. I forget what it sounded. I just knew that it sounded like. I think it sounded like transatlantic.
Your Honor, Jim Gordon destroys everything he touches, and I should know. I'm him.
It sounded kind of like the old movie style. You know what I mean?
It was definitely a different voice. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, I like this. This is so cool. I would have never thought of like trying to do something like this and saying like if I don't know. For me, I guess I would have just had him do more of the same, or had him, since it was the last episode, cut his hair like he had it in the very first episode with that military buzz cut look, and come in and do it. Because that would have had a strong impact, I think.
That would have been interesting.
This is the least annoying Barbara has ever been.
When she poisoned the guy.
In all these extra episodes, like she's like murdering people. Where like it's funny, we're like, oh, Barbara's never, hasn't killed anyone in years. So it's like, oh yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, now in these bonus episodes, it's like murder-rama.
Well, yeah, if the episode count had remained the same, her hands would still have been clean.
I do love Zsasz. Obviously, always love Zsasz. I do love that. I did like that they brought back the whole "I love Ivy Pepper" thing because that's like super cute. The way that they do it, where they're all like super floofy in love with her. It's not gross. It's just really cute. Like it's not high school, like kindergarten love. Like, because that's what love is about.
I see what you're saying.
Said it. I didn't.
Yeah, it's not like she's so sexy because 12-year-old. It's like Ivy Pepper Zaz, or like what does he say? Like Ivy Pepper Zaz or something like that.
It's Ivy Pepper's ass. It's like when you were in middle school or grade school and you're just writing in your notebook the same thing over and over again, like Mrs. Dante Sparta. Look, Devil May Cry 5 just came out. I've had a crush on it since I was like, when did the first one come out?
Joshua Lappin Keen Tony.
97, I think.
Yeah, so I was in high school, so I've had a crush on him that long. And oh god, he aged so well. But okay, focus.
Way to stay on the ball, Jan. This is business we're talking about.
What other scene was there? I did actually like the Barbara Keene storyline in this. Because it did give her a little bit. I mean, it helped to work with what they've been trying to build this entire season. But since the focus, like she was working on this episode, I feel like it worked a little bit more to cement what she was doing. And then actually having Penguin point out what she was doing was super helpful. Versus, like, them just... And now she's just going to be a better person. It's good that somebody noticed she was doing it, basically, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
What other storyline was there?
Well, how much do we... Because, like, I'm trying to remember... This is another instance where Gordon's in grievous harm, and the camera is focused on how much does Barbara care about that. And it looks like she's more...
I don't think she cares.
I think she's more caring about, like, how she's viewed as a potential mother rather than his well-being. Like, I don't think she cares about him, and that's fine. She doesn't have to care about him whatsoever.
You remember when she thought he died last year and she, like, toasted?
Yeah, she tried to redo that this time, except she used it to her advantage.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Good symmetry. I don't know if that was on purpose.
Well, I guess she remembered that everybody was like super excited about it and invited them all to the party, and then was like, "No, your ass is mine."
Just like her.
Because I'm Babs.
Get out.
No, because when you said your ass it reminded me of your butt is mine. And oh man, okay, that is really uncomfortable now in light of recent. Moving on.
I know you can help yourself. I'm trying to think of kind of points of interest. Like the whole thing, the story is like this big guilt trip for Gordon, which is it's in character. Like he's had the weight of his shoulders, blah blah blah. Did Josh, you had when you were kind of conversing off air about like how Lee was written in this, in terms of her being very much like you're trying to save the city, but who's going to save you, kind of thing.
I thought that the way that like that conversation between her and him, it felt very season 2. Which, in fairness, like they have not been like a couple since season 2, so they wouldn't have had a conversation like that since then. And but like it's weird. I was like, oh, we're like, it felt very, very like of the past, because like Lee is not like this sit by the window and wait for like Spider-Man to come home like girlfriend like she was in season 2. Although like even in season 2, like I liked how she was written. I thought that she was like the anti-TV girlfriend then. Like she wasn't like like you're a secret score and they're tearing us apart. But the whole like her being worried while Gordon goes out to fight crime, like I feel like she's so much more than that, and she's been so much more than that. But like in fairness, Ben McKenzie like did tell us that the hardest person for him to write for is his wife, and that if he doesn't get it right, he gets in trouble at home.
I love you. There, page 1.
I don't know. I'm not particularly a fan of her being like, oh Jim, if something dies, it'll never happen to you, Jim, because like she's been so much more on this show, especially. Not that she wouldn't like react with horror if like Jim was at death's door, but
it watches a little strange because like obviously that first scene was foreshadowing him getting shot, so it felt it kind of felt telegraphed. Not so much him getting shot, but like her feelings like Jim, anything, whatever happened to you. I mean, he's always been in danger. So like whatever.
I want a special DVD feature, like like when Lee's like, "What's gonna happen if you go?" Or Barbara and I gonna raise this baby together. Like, want a special DVD feature where it's Ben McKenzie imagining like Aaron Richards and Marina Baccarin like raising a baby together, like as if it was like a 1980s sitcom. Like,
you forget. That would probably just end up with them getting married.
Gordon, snap out of it. In a minute, Bullock. In a minute. Yeah.
Get out. Because you remember, Bab swings both ways.
Oh yeah, that's right. That has not been addressed on the show in a long time. Although, she hasn't really been a romantic character in a long time.
Tabitha's dead cold lips, but like, that in reference to their relationship, but
yeah.
Well, that was the last time it was. Well, that wasn't even like a. I don't even think they were together though. Not like that.
Yeah, like we talked
two,
about before that like her and Tabitha haven't explicitly been like sexually active with each other and since season 2. Like it's been like not contradicted.
I felt like season 2, it just felt like it was just for ratings. Look at these dirty women.
Lesbians. Watch Gotham on Fox. And then watch Fox News
followed by
while we yell at you
Undressed
about morality. Yeah, like her relationship with Tabitha was like more undefined, like later on. But yeah, that's right. Barbara is bisexual.
Well, I think it's a point that when Tabitha started working with her again after last season, I don't think they ever implied that they got back together romantically. Because this season is like like we're friends now, but like I felt that like Tabitha was way more just putting up with her.
Well, and Tabitha was also had to forgive her for the whole Butch thing.
I will never forgive her for the whole Butch thing.
I was listening to Donovan's and Harry doing questions we don't have answers, and they did a plug, and they did an episode on Captain. They did an episode on Captain Marvel, and like at one point they start talking about Barbara Keene, as you naturally.
You say they, because Harry doesn't want anything to do with the show.
But anyway, so like Donovan's like he's talking about the end of last season. He's like, yeah, and when Barbara finds out that Penguin killed Butch, it's enough to make her hate all men forever, even though she killed Butch last season, and that made me laugh.
He's not wrong though.
But anyway, on to the actual episode and stuff that happened. The wedding between them. I thought, first of all, like I knew that it was going to end with a wedding since like December, because that was like one of the worst kept secrets of the show. Because even though like they were being very tight-lipped about it, everyone that was there for like the last day of filming was like taking pictures of like like Aaron Richards like getting ready for like the last like shot of the show. She's like, all right everyone, I want to thank you for all this time on Gotham. And then like you see like them standing in the wedding position, you see the flowers, you see Lee in the wedding like dress ish thing. Like it's not so you could tell that was going to happen. And then when they were at Pally and being interviewed by Damian Holbrook from like TV Guide, they were saying, oh yes, we do something in the last episode that makes Gotham just like something that happened in real life. Wink, wink. So it's like, okay, so Lee and and Gordon get married, which is funny because the next few episodes, which like were filmed before this, they're like they weren't originally written as being married. So like now watch the episode like in mind that they're married, but that like when it was written, they weren't supposed to be married. So it's like a retcon that they were married this whole time. But anyway, so I liked it, and I thought that Donald Logue's line was very meta, where he's like, like a lot of crazy stuff has happened here in the last few years, but one thing that's good is that these two people met and fell in love right here, and because he doesn't specifically say their names,
they met and fell in love at Arkham Asylum, right?
Shut up.
I knew you were going to say
I think he just means like general, you bitch.
Yeah, I mean, I think he meant. I think he means like meet in the city and like in Gotham and this like craziness of everything that's happened, and he is the one that got her the job there and then yelled at her, "How dare you get a job here? Who's the son of a bitch that told you to do that?"
I like how like son of a bitch is like your go-to.
It's
just as a Clayface.
Yeah, it's. I'm not making it up. It's. He does say that.
I remember explicitly when he, I guess it was last season, where he answered the phone. It was like, Lieutenant Gordon. Oh, Gordon, it's me, Professor Pig. And he instantly, you son of a bitch. And like, Pig didn't even do anything. He was just on the run.
Well, I mean, he did kill cops.
I suppose, but like, yeah, it was like, it's me, Gordon, Professor Pig.
I have to call him a son of a bitch, but that, I don't think it's enough. But that's just me.
But anyway, like, I thought that was the really, like, sweet meta moment in the wedding. I've said before I would have preferred him ending up with Barbara, but oh well, this is what we're doing. But yeah,
I would not.
Poor Mario was spinning in his grave, I'm sure, but
no one cares about Mario. Look, his wife
honestly, nobody does anymore.
Well, yeah. all of Mario's family is either dead or comatose, so like no one does. Yeah. Not his coworkers at the hospital or anything.
His wife.
Yeah, she's alive and kicking and like defiling his memory by.
His wife decided to take the virus that got him killed in the first place, try to destroy Gotham, and run away with the man who killed him. And then she became the Queen of the Narrows. Then she banged a known criminal for like a whole season.
Robbed a bank.
And then... Yeah,
robbed the bank.
And then... She robbed more than one bank. And then she decided to become a robot. JK. She became a robot.
I like how you say decided. Like,
yeah, she decided to become a robot. What a decision.
She went to, like, Dr. Niles called her.
And now she is back with her original man. Original man.
But,
and she decided to marry him so that together they can raise the baby that he's having with another woman.
Who she's the OBGYN for.
Just as I planned
it. Do you, Lee Tompkins, take... Wait a second. You and the doc?
Get out! Oh, God, that is a throwback. Holy shit.
Bullock, you son of a bitch. I'll kill you.
So, like, for listeners who don't remember or need context, which, like...
Jan's dying.
I know. There was 3 episodes in a row in season 1 where, like, Bullock finds out for the first time that, like, Gordon and, like, Lee are together. He's like, so I hear that you and the doc were doing it in the locker room, eh? You mean my home? Yeah. And then, like, the next episode, he's like, so you and the doc, you traded in the purse for the nurse. I remember that line. It was, like, so stupid. And then, like, an episode later, like, you and Doc Caliente, eh? Like,
oh, God. I know.
Like, listeners, I am not joking. Like, go back and watch season 1. Like, I love season 1, but the writers were, like, not coordinating their scripts very well. Because, like, I swear, like, the end of one episode, Gordon's like, you should be the medical examiner. The next episode, Lee's like, I have a surprise. I became the medical examiner. And Gordon's like, shocked and appalled.
he's disturbed. And, like, and I think she says, you told me to get the job. Yeah, but I was clearly joking.
Yeah, like,
with a job.
and I'm convinced that Marina Baccarin say "you told me to get the job" was like an ad lib by her part because she like realized like we have to address this because otherwise this makes no sense.
I forgot about the Doc Caliente line. How stupid.
A lot of the words out of his mouth that first season were real dumb.
For years, our joke about
impregnate a hooker on your own bed.
For years, our joke about Bullock was that he had like short-term memory loss. So it's only fitting that he would be the one to marry them. I guess illegally, because like I said, I've known about this wedding since December, and then when I finally saw like the episode, I was like, wait, they're not even like really married technically. What? Like, because Bullock's like, by the power vested in me by no one. I'm like, whoa. Don't gloss over that.
I'm glad he said that because really, who is he supposed to be? And yeah, why are they having it like in the place that was just attacked by Zsasz? Why don't they actually find someplace?
Well,
a month.
Yeah, a month later, which
he healed up. They put everything back to normal, and then they put some flowers around, and somehow found a wedding dress somewhere, a white dress somewhere, and some more flowers somewhere.
Could you imagine if they didn't pull the 1 month later lettering, and it looked as though like later that day, and he just like gets up and marries her?
Well, like it's I saw an earlier cut where like that was not there, so like until I saw the aired version, I was like, oh, there is a 1 month time skip. But then I was wondering if like was the 1 month time skip in the script the whole time, because it did raise a few questions where like Bruce and Selena are like, so about what you said earlier, before Ivy interrupted us, I was like, wait, why are you bringing that up a month later? Like, which it would be a conversation that you would continue, but like the way that they said it would, especially because the last time you see Bruce and Selena, they're like, where's Ivy? Oh no, she was heading to that JCPD. So like the implication is they went to the GCPD and then like, oh, Ivy's taken care of, but stay for this wedding.
I don't know. Maybe she put that month again.
It took them a month to get there. They got lost.
Also, when he leaned in and just like straight up made out with her, I was like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Batcat from the first kiss to the last.
And then Bruce kisses Cameron Beekendova.
Bruce kisses Cameron Beekendova.
I mean Selena. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, like it's the last episode.
He steps out of character. No, he steps into the real world and kisses the actress instead of his actual girlfriend.
Jim kisses Lee. Bruce and Selena kiss. Zsasz, who's like in the little jail cell in the corner, like that little cell that they have, he like motions for Alvarez to come over. Then they
come hither,
and then like everyone like watching just like starts kissing, like like
got a very important pairing. Then the Riddler magically shows up and kisses Lucius.
Foxy. And like, why is it? And then like Alfred's like, why is everyone kissing? And then like from like the rafters, Ivy's like pouring like potion on them, like, hey, Nayastinka.
Yeah, I really just teleports. You didn't think I missed this party, did you?
But yeah, that month later thing, like, I'm not sure, especially because like, why did they wait a month to get married? Because like, it didn't look like it took a month to like, they didn't have to hire a caterer or book a band or anything like that. They just had to like
waiting for him to get better because he almost died.
He actually had to heal this time.
She brought him back from dying from blood loss and gunshot wound by pumping his heart, even though she explicitly needed adrenaline.
Love, Dawn. She did it with the power of her love.
Love for Gordon? That can't be enough.
I mean, if she loved crap that she tried to destroy all of Gotham for him. I mean, I'm just saying.
Who among the main cast hasn't tried to destroy Gotham aside from Lucius? Actually, technically, this episode, Lucius with his Ivy.
No, Bruce was hypnotized by Rachel Gould or somebody. The Court of Owls to like destroy the Gotham. I forgot about that. Was Bruce on the Tetch virus?
No, he wasn't Tetch virus. He it was the flashback needles.
Yeah, he was brainwashed by flashback nettles.
Okay, but no, the point says I forgot. He did try to destroy Gotham. Like no character is clean. Everyone's an
That's a lie.
Alfred punched a teenage girl. He let a little boy climb up a mountain with a broken leg. What else has Alfred done?
Nobody is a virgin to evil.
Yeah,
Hey now. Harper hasn't done anything bad yet.
We've not seen her origin story.
Yeah,
Alvarez was a dirty cop to begin with.
Yeah, Alvarez was like cheating on his wife. Jan had to remind me about that.
Harper could have been, I don't know, like Queen of Diamonds or whatever from the '60s show. We don't know.
We're like speculating Harper, who's done jack shit to us. Like, surely she's done something.
I will cut you.
Okay, so anyway, wow, this wedding. Like I said, I thought it was really sweet, and knowing that this was the last episode filmed of the show, like it almost feels like another finale, like a celebration, you know, with that little meta thing. I thought that was sweet, and then and I didn't notice the first time. There's like a wedding march version of the Gotham theme at the end. It's like da 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 da. Like,
I have to go back and listen to it.
I missed it the first time, but yeah, it's there. So like this, that was good. I like that. This isn't one of my favorite episodes, but I did think that it was a good way for like the cast to say goodbye, especially like, you know, little things like they brought back the mutant leader, and like they brought back the props for the Court of Owls, Professor Pig. I guess like Corey Michael Smith would not have been in this episode had it not been for that one piano part. Like he would have completely missed out on the last episode film.
I mean, it's such a blink you miss it shot of him. I almost wonder if it was from another episode, but I don't remember him playing the piano in another episode.
Him and Penguin when Gordon woke up in season 2. Like Gordon like wakes up in Riddler's apartment and he sees like him and Penguin playing piano. He's like, what the fuck?
Really? What about when season 2? He woke up.
The mid-season finale when they're going to war with Galavan. Gordon wakes up. He's like wounded or something, and he like wakes up and he's in Enigma's apartment, and Penguin's there, and he's like, "Wait, you two are friends? How do you two know each other?"
Right, because Riddler was nursing Penguin back to health.
Yeah. And that was when they went off to war against Galavan for the final time, which another thing where this is like a celebration of like the entire series. Like they mentioned Galavan for like the first time in like
since
ever.
season 2.
Yeah, like even the only time his name is said is like when you talk about Tabitha's name, like, oh yes, Tabitha Galavan. But like, yeah, like that's right, she had a family, a brother.
Well, it's like Bruce, like, you know, Galavan was all my fault. No, because you were not only were you a minor, but like Galavan wanted to like kidnap and kill you. Like you had nothing to do with that. Just because you were the victim doesn't mean you were the reason.
They wanted him specifically because of who he was.
Yeah, but that's still not his fault.
His family. So that's why he's saying, like, all of this stuff is happening because of me. Then he listed all the things where he was targeted in the city and was a device for all these destructive plots. That's what he meant when he said all of that stuff. Because remember, back in the day, in the beginning, he was getting kidnapped every other episode.
That was a thing that, like, was, like, constantly joked about among Gotham fandom. Like, oh, Bruce is kidnapped again.
And then now he's kidnapping other... No, I'm kidding.
He's too big to kidnap
them. He has grown so much. Now he's kidnapping people himself.
Somebody posted on Twitter like a gif of Cameron B. Candova and Davi Mazouz from the first season having that muffin fight. And I was like, oh my gosh, so little.
Oh, dude, let me tell you. So remember I told you I was watching this episode? Oh, I was like, I have like half this episode left. You want to come watch it since you've only seen like 2 other episodes? And he was like, sure. And he was all like, okay, what's happening? And then like Bruce walks out and he's like, oh my god, he's so big.
Puberty.
So last time I saw it.
That's not Bruce, that's Alfred.
The reaction he had was like so sharp, like, holy shit, he's so big. He was so small the last time I saw him. Because the last time we saw him was the the circus episode with Jerome.
I remember thinking. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, you're good.
No, go ahead.
I remember thinking, like early in the show, like maybe the first couple of seasons, that Don Zsasz would have been a really good Damian Wayne. I thought he kind of had the intensity, and he obviously, was
absolutely
the size. I thought he would have been, if he ever, like when he was younger, cosplayed as Damian Wayne, it would have been killer.
It's true. He's amazing, and I love his face. I love him so much. I'm gonna miss him so much.
I know this episode was like really hard because it was like I was getting all these memories to like December when like everyone was like posting on social media that was involved in the show, like last day of filming, saying goodbye. Like JW Cortez is like my last day as Alvarez, and then like everyone was posting these goodbye messages.
You will always be Alvarez in my heart for eternity, so it is not your last day.
Cortez,
he should move up to Vancouver and just like be Alvarez on the Batwoman show that they're filming right now.
Oh my god. Be still my heart. I would have to actually watch.
Because they the Batwoman production crew, like they asked Gotham's like to send them the GCPD uniform. So like when they send it, they should like send Alvarez with it. Like
then he would have to become a Vancouver police officer. You forget he has a real life job.
Oh
wait, he's still a cop. Like there was despite all this filming.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow.
That's his day job. That's why he's not on the show a lot.
I totally forgot about that. I thought that he was I knew he was in law enforcement, but I guess I forgot that was continuing to be his So he continues to be a hero in the face of Pretty Boy Ben McKenzie.
Like, he's like a real. That's like the other thing that makes me super excited about him existing. Like when I found out he was like an actual cop, and then he plays a cop on the TV show. And isn't he also like a military veteran?
Yeah.
He's like amazing. Okay, I don't know. I just love him.
He's so great. He's so great.
And then like the way he answered Ben's question at diversity in DC or whatever it was, that was so good.
It took me a second to realize you weren't talking about Ben McKenzie. I was like, oh yeah, I have a Ben too.
An intern Ben. The way he answered intern Ben's.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and it was a really good question too. I was like, oh wow, props. Like, how does Alvarez like process all the shit that goes on around him? It's like, well, he didn't ask it that way.
He dropped like PTSD, and I was like, oh, this boy.
Yeah, we've had deep talks about like non-homeless matters.
Way to categorize it. Deep talks about non-homeless matters. Homeless isn't funny.
Wasn't it like your idea, Donovan, to have like the three of us like howl homeless cop off the balcony for no reason at SDCC?
Yes, I absolutely did.
It was like Ben and I.
You know that you definitely were not drunk when you did that.
None of us were drunk.
No, I mean I just know like that is a really silly idea, and then Don stone cold sober because he doesn't really drink.
Yeah,
we were bored, is what we were.
And the funny thing was, it was Don's idea, not mine.
Yeah.
But of course, like I was down for it. I was like, yes, let's do it.
We did it, right? We did do it.
Yes, we did. We absolutely did.
Excellent.
So there's an episode of Gotham that I guess we're talking. We're not really going plotline by plotline because this is like kind of like.
It was such a clear filler episode. It's hard to like pretend to be invested in it when it was just like a one and done.
But
talk about the wedding at all?
Well, go for it.
Oh no, because we got sidetracked by all the kissing.
The orgy.
The orgy of mouths. I don't know what to do. I thought the wedding was really cute, mostly because I've wanted that since season 1, and it gratuitously played to what I wanted, even though it's really weird. I do like the relationship in the way that they actually want to do it despite everything that's happened. Didn't she try to leave him for dead once too?
Once.
When you
Well,
say leave him for dead, like, what do you mean?
like he was gonna die and then she didn't help him.
I don't remember.
I feel like she did not. I don't mean like when she gave him like, "You're gonna take this virus or you're gonna die because I buried you." I mean like he got hurt or something and then she didn't help him, and then like someone else had to help him.
I feel like that's breaking the doctor's like oath, but like she's broken that so many times.
Yeah, first do no harm, and she's killed like countless Gothamites.
She smashed a guy's hand in with a hammer.
She
She's
killed
poisoned.
countless Gothamites.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, she smashed some guy's hand with it. That is nothing, dude. She released a virus onto a city.
When she was Barbara's...
And then she watched them, like, kill each other.
When she was Barbara's OBGYN, she secretly, like, took the baby out and, like, put, like, a bomb in there. So, like, the baby's already born. Like, it's, like, in a little clinic and, like, like, in an infant ward in the back of the hospital. Barbara's carrying, like, a bomb that's gestating. It's gonna blow up and level all of Gotham.
Again, no one's a virgin to evil.
So what I was thinking when you said that is I was picturing Bruce carrying Babs across Gotham running towards the docks like sometimes you can't
Na 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 na.
like the Viva Zal just holding Aaron Richards up in the air, just running around Gotham. Like
and out of Aaron Richards' belly button is that little rope with like a spark on it that's on the top of every bombs. Like
I didn't go that far.
I did.
Yeah, you would. You always go that extra mile. But yeah, I thought the wedding was really cute. I really liked it. It's my end game. It solidifies everything that I want. So I don't really care about anything else. I did a little boy coming out the train, but that's a different thing.
What?
Actually didn't mind too much about how Lee was written in this because it felt like kind of a callback to how she was written in the first season to me. But yeah, the whole like hold on. I did like her concern, her general concern about having to raise a child with Barbara Keene. Honestly, anyone having to raise a child with Barbara Keene. I do love that she was actually dedicated to the idea of raising the child with Barbara and Jim, like being a stepmother. Like she was all in. I thought that was cool. And then her first conversation with Alfred since season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They haven't spoken.
Season 2?
Season 2 they had when they met, but
season 2 when they were doing the what did they do in season 2?
They met at that charity ball and Alfred was like hitting on her. And
because that's when they had the maniacs. Okay. So they didn't read in season 1, they met in season 2.
And it's funny because I remember a moment where like she was getting ready to say I have a boyfriend, but he said something that implied how rich he was, and she like stopped in her tracks and then like didn't mention Gordon. She's like, oh yes, we can. I don't remember what it was that he said, but it was like along. Oh yeah, we can go on the yacht. Listen, I have a. Did you say yacht?
Yep.
Her love is so easily bought.
Well,
every day you can be on a yacht.
Well, I don't know if it was a yacht in particular, but it was like something along those lines that like signified his wealth or something that like I don't think she was going to cheat on Jim, but I think it was enough to make her be like, wait, what? Like, hold on, like, keep talking. Like, this isn't happening, but I want to hear you out. Like, it was something like that. I almost joked in the recap that, like, yeah, like, as Alfred's confined her, he, like, leans in for a kiss, like, oh, sorry. That's not what was happening here. Did I misread this?
Would have been fun.
Right. But yeah, I do like their nice, deep, and how well aware of her feelings for Jim that he was, despite not ever having anything to do with them. Because we haven't had any like interactions, and I don't think it's actually been mentioned around Alfred that Lee and Jim are a thing, although they have been in the police station for a while.
Well, Alfred found out at the end of that episode, because when he saw her and, like, Jim kiss, he was like, oh, man.
Yeah, but so much has happened since then.
That's true.
Like,
I think
what?
raising a teenage boy is just such a full-time job that, like, especially when he's kidnapped all the time, so Alfred doesn't have time to, like, you know, for love.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a lie.
He has sex every night. We just don't see it. It's an off-screen land.
Were they smiling though?
He's been with every woman in the show. It's just like remember he and Fish flirted?
Yeah. Whoa, God, that is. I forgot Fish Mooney existed. No one has mentioned Fish. Nobody has mentioned Fish.
This would have been a good episode to do it too, since this is like the finale-ish. Like, since they were calling back to all this stuff, like, even you can't get Jada Pinkett Smith back for, like, Gordon's, you know, dream sequence, but, like, you can, like, have, like, I guess, like, a bad wig.
Refer to. Is there anyone left to refer to Penguin as an umbrella boy, or are they all dead?
Bullock.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because Bullock's known Penguin since the beginning, so yeah. But speaking of callbacks, like, a lot of people said that the judge should have been Barnes, and while I agree, like, they probably just couldn't get Michael Chiklis for, like, the episode.
That would have been amazing. Oh my God. No, you know how I feel about the executioner. I would have lost my damn mind. Especially if he was in costume the entire time.
He's still in that makeup.
And then, like, instead of, like, an axe hand, it's a gavel hand.
Oh! Shut up and take my money.
I want it.
Yeah, I'm mad that they didn't do that.
I'm like, I always tell everybody don't watch this show. It's so bad, but it's just like, but I'm also like, no, you need to watch the show. It's so bad. I talk so much shit about this show, and I get so mad about it. But I actually do want to go back and rewatch all of it. Oh God.
When they turned to the jury and it was all the Dead Haven people, I was hoping that it would be all Gordons. That would have been funnier.
Hey, well, I thought it was gonna be all Gordon, and then it was all the Haven people, and I was just like, "Are those Dead Haven people?" Because I can't recognize any of those faces.
Will, like, flips the like switch for the electric. He's like, "That's for feeding me peaches, which you know I'm allergic to. By the way, I know that it was you that kicked me off of the bed, and that's why my arm broke. Pushed, sizzle."
Man, that whole scene was not really that great.
Don loved it. The whole I want to live. Homeless. Yes, I did many bad things. I even killed Galavan. That's all I need to hear. Then, like, the lights go on, and it's like, you see, I hired Zsasz to shoot you, and then we drugged you to make you think you were having this fantasy. So you would admit in your dream that you killed Galavan, but you're actually not dreaming. You're awake. Wait, but why? That doesn't make sense. What about Will? Oh, yes. We blew up Haven and faked Will's death as part of this elaborate plan to get you to admit to killing Galavan.
Very clever.
What about Harvey? He was drinking those Mai Tais from Alvarez. Harvey does that every week. That is true. Why is Professor Pick here? I don't know. The front door was open. You're under arrest for...
No, but dude, it wasn't actually Professor Pig because the body of the actor was actually a lot smaller.
Oh yeah, they were reusing old props like the Court of Out, which again I love that. That was a great way to like look back on the series, and I think we said while Don was gone too that like they should have had somebody mention Fish Moonia as well. Yeah,
that would have been a mess, bars.
Yeah, I don't know if this episode was like as much of a successful tribute to the series as I think you took it. I mean, they definitely paid homage to some things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to compare it to the actual series finale once that happens on April 25th. I do have a problem with, and I know it's Gotham, and I know that this happens all the time. Like everyone is like friends with someone that they were trying to kill. That's great, but like Barbara, in the span of like 2 episodes, is like, I will kill that bird. I will find him and I will rip his head. Like she and Penguin are having like sleepovers now. Like it's really jarring for me, and it's not the first time the show's done this. Obviously, like people do that all the time, but it's it does give me whiplash. Where like you feel like, did I miss an episode? But like
no,
nope, they're the best of friends now.
I know, for real. It's just no one can stay mad at these characters because they're all friends.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love the Chris Chalk thing. We talked about that. Like, do you have anything else to say
about the Chris Chalk thing?
Just about the episode in general.
We didn't really went beat by beat about anything. We just kind of like glossed over stuff.
Yeah, no, we kind of like had a natural conversation instead of like saying like, what did you think of Ivy? What did you think of? Yeah, we're kind of all over the place this week.
I actually really liked the return of Ivy. I was really surprised about how much I really liked her being back.
Well, and I really thought when we did those other episodes earlier this season, when I was like, this is the last time we see Ivy and the last time we see Zsasz, like,
yes,
I knew the cast of the other episodes. I did not know the cast that was going to be in these episodes. So, like, I was like very definitively thinking, like, yeah, we'll never see them again.
They were clearly intended to originally.
Yeah, because that was like a goodbye for Zsasz and like kind of a goodbye for Ivy too. But
I kind of preferred Zaz's previous appearance. Really, like see you around Jim. I kind of thought that was a bit more effective than like his. I mean, he's arrested in this, which is fine, but like, he's always fun.
Always. I love him so much. Fight me.
I'm looking at Reddit and people are mad about the hiatus and someone says, hey, Fox, screw you. And then someone replies, Lucius cries off in the distance.
What?
Like, wrong Fox.
I don't understand. Why is he crying?
Because someone was mad at Fox, the network, and they said, screw you, Fox. So, like, the person's joking that Lucius, like, thought that they were talking to him.
I feel that, like, it's a final season. It's the last several episodes. I get, the hiatus seems unnecessary, but like, there's nothing you can do about it. So, I feel it feels weird to kind of protest that.
How are you even protesting?
Or even just like kind of like shout out like, I don't like it in such a assertive way.
I don't know.
Somebody commented, Lucius and Alfred, yikes, hormones, because like when they react to like Bruce and Selena kissing at the end.
That's true.
I want to know what Jordan Valdez thought about that. I want to know if he like fell on the floor.
Who?
He's one of our fans, and he's like a big Batman and Catwoman shipper.
Oh, Jordan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone said a Gotham wedding without at least 3 deaths is a boring affair.
It's true though. Nobody died at that wedding. What's the worst? I super duper duper uber duper loved like Zaz's whole thing about like, yeah, I'm just a distraction while she goes to kill him. I probably wasn't supposed to tell you that. And then he just shrugs and he just starts shooting. He's so cute. I love him. I love him too much. I'm gonna miss him so much.
I know.
Oh my God.
Someone on Reddit says 1 month later, and Bruce just now brings up Ivy. Yup, because maybe the time skip was.
Maybe he completely forgot about the conversation and then remembered they had it because there are flowers in the police station.
They looked at the flowers and they're like, "Oh yeah, that reminds me of Ivy." Wait a second, we're in the middle of a conversation. I love it. I love Bruce, like, so cute on their date. Like, he sets this whole thing up for her, this date.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
Someone commented, "Wow, they used my fan fiction." I have no clue what scene they're referring to.
Oh, by the way, I've started to catch up on all my Batman comics, and I just got to the episode or the issue where he proposes to her. During the war of jokes and riddles.
We talked about that the first time you were on the podcast during the season 3 finale.
I know. And I just got around to, I don't know, when I started dating Dawn, I stopped reading comics, apparently.
No need.
I'll just have Dawn tell me what happens. I don't have to read anymore. Reading's for losers.
Someone put, "Dude, why can't just anyone shoot Zsasz?" And then someone said, "Good plot armor."
That's another thing too that I'm going to bitch about. Again, he has a gun in each hand, 2 guns. There are at least 10 to 20 cops, and they're all like hiding from him. And I know he's an expert marksman because Wiki says that's one of his superpowers, but like, I know it's a comic book television show, but come on, man. Somebody's on the higher floor. Take a headshot.
They did shoot at him, though.
Freaking hit him.
He jumped down. Because they were pinned first because he was just continuously shooting. Then he started talking. And, they're not, like, bad guys, so they're not going to shoot him while he's talking.
Someone brought up a really good point here about, when Lee says, "What has Jim ever done to you?" And then they reply, "Ivy, blah, blah, plans, blah, blah, plans." And then this Reddit person said, "Jim was part of the conspiracy that framed her father for murder, which led to his death, her mom's suicide, and Ivy's descent into madness. Does the show remember its own?"
That. I agree. I thought that was coming, but it wasn't.
I completely forgot about that because that was like 2 Ivy actresses ago. But like, oh yeah, like when Lee's like, "What has Jim ever done to you?" It's like, oh yeah, Lee wouldn't know. She wasn't there for the pilot.
No, she wasn't. She didn't meet him until like halfway through the season, didn't she?
Yeah, it was the extra episodes because that was another case where they ordered extra episodes like in the middle of the season because the first season was going to end with Lovecraft.
Oh.
And like it was going to be like an 11 episode season or something, and then like Fox ordered more, so that's why there was a lot of like wheel spinning at the end of like that season 2 with like
Penguin's Umbrella was the mid-season finale, first season finale, original, not Lovecraft.
No, because there was a few more weeks, and then Lovecraft. Because I remember we even talked about like this isn't even the mid-season finale. What are they going to do until then and the rest of the season?
Oh, so Penguin's Umbrella was like episode 11 out of 13.
Penguin's Umbrella was episode like 7 or 6.
Really?
But that was like a big turn. I remember like
I thought that was later in the season.
I swear it's like episode 6 or 7. I'm looking this up right now. Episode 7.
Jesus.
It's funny because like the episode art for it on Google, it's Gordon staring down like Fish Mooney.
My greatest enemy.
But like his hair is like cut. Alfred, anyone
Then
else's
it's just a
for
goat,
this?
and then it's Lovecraft. Lovecraft was so weak in comparison, though.
It was. I agree, but every episode was weak compared to Penguin's Umbrella.
Spirit of the Goat was good.
Yeah. We did a sequel.
Lightning.
The only reason why Batman's hair should be so big is if he's stocking weapons in it. Oh, these people are savage. Freaking for real. Like, that was another thought I had is like David Mazouz has gone full on Vegeta in this thing. His hair is so
I don't
tall.
understand what's that. What is that? Is he somehow like Oswald's like younger brother all of a sudden? I don't understand what's happening.
Because it's not like that kind of hairstyle is popular these days.
It isn't. I don't know what they're doing on that show. One of the things I did enjoy about the final episodes of the first season, though, even though I hate what they did to Barbara Keene, is the fact that I got to stare at Milo Ventimiglia for like 2 episodes.
Peter Petrelli.
I always thought he'd be a great Red Hood.
Now I can't unsee it.
Good, excellent. Even when he's younger, as like a younger Jason Todd, when you think of him like as a teen actor, like later on, I think he'd be great.
Are we ready to Futon Critic and promo?
What's the promo? Let me see.
Yeah, let me find.
Yeah, link it to me too. I've not seen it.
Iron Bird.
Next episode on Gotham, Gordon has his secret.
So that was the trial of Jim Gordon. Next episode is called. It is called I Am Bane. On the precipice of Gotham's reunification, Gordon and Bruce find themselves face to face with the newly transformed Eduardo and discover the real mastermind behind the city's current chaos. Meanwhile, a pregnant Barbara turns to fate.
I knew you were going to do that.
For help in the all-new Iron Burn. Guest star Shane West as Eduardo Duran's Burn, Jamie Murray as Teresa Walker, B.D. Wong as Hugo Strange,
the GOAT,
and John Benford Lloyd as General Wade.
General Wade is a character from the comics. I forget which comics though.
He's clearly from the Hulk.
Thunderbolt Wade Ross.
Uncle Thundy. Which you still need to reply to that scheduling thread, Don. Yeah, so we've seen that promo. We got one of my favorite shots of the season, Barbara on her wheelchair, sporting double gunning it.
Jesus Christ.
While she's pregnant, possibly going into labor.
Kill me now.
Barbara will. She's got them 2 guns.
Oh, thank God. I hope she shoots me so I don't have to deal with it.
She shoots the viewers. So yeah, what do you all think of that promo and that description and that burn?
I hate her so much.
What did she ever do to you? You liked her this episode too. You're like, I like Barbara's plot line.
I did like it because it wasn't like just tossed in. It felt like it had more of she had more of a reason to be there. I don't know. She actually got some development in this. I don't know.
That's fine.
She did feel shoehorned in, for one. She seemed like she actually had a purpose in this episode, probably because she was directing it versus someone else shoehorning her into the episode, so it felt like she was supposed to be there, except it never does.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I cut somebody off.
Well, I mean, they're laying on Bane's here. It's just like I'm not really excited for him, and I love Bane as a character, but let's get this version over with.
Yeah. Bane has always been painful to watch in anything that isn't like actual comic books and the animated series.
Monkey work.
because I literally keep blocking out his appearance in the movie Batman and Robin or whatever. I literally keep blocking out because every time I remember him, it's just like, what the does he even look like? And then there was the Tom Hardy one, which made me mad because he was a lackey. And this one is making me mad because he's a lackey again. He started off pretty solid, and then now he's just a tool again. It's like, yeah, no, she gave me a purpose. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh god, just ugh.
I thought visually in Batman and Robin he looked okay, but like obviously that was like all there was to it.
Yeah, visually was the only they got his character design right,
so
but then they like went home for the rest of the day.
Yeah, and then he just keeps being used as a tool by women instead of being his own person.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, he was a tool of women in both of those movies. I thought that even though he was a tool for Talia in Dark Knight Rises, I thought that he was very proactive. Like he did do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, for her.
Yeah, but it wasn't like I didn't get the sense that he was like a mindless minion in that. And even at the end, when she's like, let him live, and he's like, "That I'm going to kill you, Batman." So
yeah,
like,
you realize I'm going to kill you.
Yeah,
you'll just have to imagine the fire.
I don't think he was as lackey-ish as people tend to rant about that.
No, I mean the point is not that he. Oh my god!
Make it clear for us, Jen.
In most things that I have read or even seen in animation, he is the one in charge unless he is hired by somebody, but that is by choice, and then he can clearly leave that situation when he wants to. When you're watching stuff like Batman and Robin, he's a mindless dumbass. When you're watching The Dark Knight Rises, he is clearly dedicated to this woman. That is not like him. It's not for his agenda. It's him believing in this woman's agenda and trying to work for that. Do you understand what I mean? And then now in this, it's a repeat of that. I mean, Jamie Murray is gorgeous. But this guy he's all like, yeah, she gave me a purpose. And she gave me this, she gave me that. And it rings to me like the movie did, where he's not dedicated to like himself, he's dedicated to someone else.
I agree. I'm much more of a fan of him as a solo person. Even in the animated series, when he first appeared, he was sort of a hired gun for Rupert Thorne, whereas in the comics, he was completely.
But he got paid.
He got paid, yeah.
And then he decided to take that job. He's like, yeah, I've got these skills and I'm going to do this. It's different than dedicating yourself to a cause. You know what I mean?
I agree. Like it's never been, because Chuck Dixon has said he's never been happy with he's only preferred the animated series being opposed to any other media version, and I get that. I just think that people tend to lay it on thick with The Dark Knight Rises in comparison to Batman and Robin, where he was literally a monosyllabic tool. And it's like, I understand preferring one thing over the other, but you can't say they're the exact same thing. That to me is disingenuous.
I'm not saying they're the exact same thing. I'm just saying he is still someone else's lackey. He is still her lackey. He was working for, he believes in her and her cause. It's not his thing, it's her thing. Everything he did was around her, basically. At least that's what I got out of the movie.
Reddit and Twitter have lots of theories about him working for Teresa Walker. Yeah.
With Batman out of the way, Gotham could be yours. So could I. And what about your employer? Well, accidents do happen. I don't know why that dialogue came in my mind.
You're too pretty to kill, but this I can't forget.
When was the last time you saw the animated episode of Bane, Jen?
A long, long, long time ago. The last time I saw an animated version of Bane, wasn't he in Young Justice?
He was in Young Justice, yeah.
Season 1 and season in the most recent season they've been doing. He shows up again.
That makes no, the Venom.
And, I remember the last time I saw him in the animated series was Batman Beyond, and he was strapped up to like Venom because he needed it to live.
That's awesome.
It's small dose.
I saw 90% of Batman Beyond for the first time, like earlier
with the guy
this year.
who was making the slappers with his Bane Venom.
Yeah, the slappers.
Yeah. Listen up, Twip.
Oh my gosh! When I went to NYCC, I saw I saw a guy in the whole Batman Beyond outfit, and I was like, Shui! And he was like, hey, Shui! And I was like, ah! Oh my god! I was just like,
what if that's the time skip? Like we go all the way to Batman Beyond, and Davi Mazouz is in like old man makeup.
That would be unexpected to say the least.
Only if they do like a half time skip where he's actually Batman, and then time skip further into the future to when he's in the old man. I wouldn't even be mad. I wouldn't even be mad. And then Hugo Strange just shows up looking exactly the same. How do you stay so young?
How are you still alive? The waters of Indian Hill can be right rejuvenating.
Ready to pound some criminal scum.
Get the fuck out. Oh,
We are riders on a mission.
There's nothing to do with this.
I don't even know what
You said something that made me think of those douchebags.
I don't know what you're referring to.
Wiggity wiggity.
This
Rocket Power.
Stupid cartoon.
What?
A really stupid cartoon called Rocket Power about a bunch of skateboarding kids. That was like the most pandering. Even as a kid, I thought that this show was. Wow. So until next time, or unless we have, so do we have something more to say about Bane?
No.
So I just don't. I just feel like I don't know. He's like supposed to be Batman's most, his most
formidable,
threatening, supervillain, and then he's being demoted to second in command. That's what it is. Does that make you feel better? He's like under the command of somebody else.
No, I
feel like that
absolutely get
happens.
it.
I feel like that happens to enough of Batman's villains where like they wind up working for someone else at one point or another that it doesn't bother me as long as they don't lose their agency and like their sense of like power like they did in Batman and Robin. Like, because even in the Star Wars movies, Darth Vader is like always second to the Emperor, but like he's still like a very, very fearsome son of a bitch.
Yeah, but always been second to the Emperor.
Well, the thing about Bane is that, and like what Janet's getting right is that like in the comics, he came into the scene specifically to kill Batman or to break Batman. Like he plotted out the whole thing. He he found out who he was. He broke into his house and beat him in his own Batcave. I mean, that's a real personal like threat, and you kind of want to see that animosity portrayed on screen. And it's always been kind of like adjacent to something else. So I get the frustration. Like, why can't he be like his comic? I absolutely do. I think not. I think
if they just made it where he was the bad guy by himself, they could do it. He has the brains. He has the strength. Like he's the whole package.
They can still make a Nightfall movie.
Push him under other people.
Even after Nightfall, though, like he was Roz's bitch in Legacy, and then he was Luthor's bitch in No Man's Land.
No, in No Man's Land, he was like working for Luthor, but like Batman shows up and he's like, yeah, I think I will actually leave. This isn't doing anything for me. So he's not like he's not a henchman in No Man's Land.
Well, I'm not saying, but what I'm saying is like, yeah, Nightfall, he did take control, but like that is one of the only times he did that. But it is his best story, and it's the story he's the most notable for. And then there's that weird friggin' story where like they were brothers, like where like Kane thought that Thomas Wayne might be his biological father for like 5 minutes.
Again, like the name Dorrance comes from.
And Nightwing is like freaked out, like, I don't want Bane to be my uncle.
Because Bruce Wayne is his biological father.
Well, Bruce Wayne is his adopted father.
It's kind of awesome.
He bounces you on his knee and he accidentally breaks your back. Whoops, sorry. Be very careful.
Is your Bane accent is like one step away from being Scooby-Doo.
I will break you.
It always comes back to Scooby-Doo.
Well, it's before you met me, there was like a period of my life for like, 3 or 4 years where like whenever I would take the kids to laser tag, I would wear a Bane mask. It was just this like weird tradition. So like there was like, if you go to Facebook, like before like, you met Doc ago, like met me, there's like years of me in like a Bane mask, which like the mask eventually got like kind of old where like it's harder to wear now. It like hurts my face. And we switched laser tag places, and like the new laser tag place, it doesn't work like wearing it as well because of like the gear and stuff like that. But yeah, that I'd wear that Dark Knight Rises Bane mask and do like this like for years. That was like a character trait of mine that like the writers of my show forgot about.
Yes, the writers of your show.
Yeah, when they wrote Alan and Montoya off.
No, help me! Oh man, I love that episode.
So until next time, this is Bert.
This is Dawn.
This is Talia.
And this is Jim. I want to live. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle.
I forgot to mention that was one of the funniest moments of the season.
Homeless cop. And you've been listening to Homeless Cop.
Yeah, who are you kidding? That's the show that we're watching.
Homeless Cop is filmed before a live studio audience.
There it is.
Executive producer like Norman Miller.
It's not glamorous work, but we are helping to save the lives of thousands of people.
People. Ugh.
I'm sorry, did you just say people? Ugh.
Lucius, what if I were to tell you I have in my possession the most intoxicating perfume you'll ever smell?
I would tell you that's an abrupt change of topic. Can we go back to the part where you said people? Ugh.